Hey sister cousins, welcome to my channel. I'm Lady C and I'm here to tell you how I feel. Like and subscribe if you're new and run it up in the comments. Let me know you stopped by. Now, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to talk about The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 8, girl.
Ladies and gentlemen,
let's get this out the way. Apologies are in order, girl. I am a little late getting the review on board. Okay, so here's my excuse, which is not really an excuse, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. So, girl, my fast ass was down to the Kendrick Lamar concert last night, and the night before, which was Monday, I was going to make a video, but I had a very, very massive headache. So, yesterday, I knew it would be too much to try to squeeze that in, and I don't want to feel like I gotta squeeze some stuff in, you know what I'm saying? I want to give my all to whatever video. I want to be right in the mind, and I also want to give you guys the time that you deserve, right, girl? Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and be frank with you. The episode didn't give what I thought it was going to give. I came for drama. Drama did not show up, okay? And that's all I gotta say. So the episode opens with a very corny rendition of Porsha's Birthday Trip by Shamia Morton. And I would have been okay having never heard that song. And I will be just fine never ever hearing that song again, okay? Girl, I'm gonna have to save it for Shamia, and I hope that I'm able to spin the block on Shamia and really tell you how I feel. Hopefully I don't forget, because you know my mind be going, girl. Okay, we you know what? We're gonna put a mental note on Shamia, girl. So yeah, we open up the episode with a song by her. She really did Drew so dirty during that song, talking about she sucked until I was like, girl, I said I was gonna wait. But I didn't like the song, okay? It was very, very coded in F Drew. You know, you don't even have a personal problem with Drew, but somehow you want to have a problem with her based off of how Porsha feels. And girl, the real smoke I have is for Porsha, all right? But I'm going to save both of them because they besties. So I'm going to go ahead and give the besties their own little moment alone. All right. Cynthia and Ange has a conversation, and Angela is trying to explain where she was coming from for inviting Drew in the first place. Right. And so Cynthia's like, well, girl, you know, couldn't nobody tell my baby daddies hit different? I guess. I think baby daddies only hit different if you still have feelings for baby daddies, okay? If you don't care, then you don't care. There is a certain time in my life where I might have cared about an ex, a baby's father, an ex-husband, whatever. There was a point in time that I might have cared about that, but after a while, you just don't. So the only reason why Porsha seems so angry is because either she still has feelings for him, or she still has that male entitlement, that entitlement that feels like once mine, always mine. You're my baby's father. You're now my property, and I get to dictate for you who in my group of friends you get to talk to. And that may be fine and well. We may even be cool about that, right? The thing about it is, coming from Porsha, we don't want to hear that shit. All right? We don't want to hear you try to dictate things that you don't even govern yourself by, okay? Because we still have yet to hear you come out of your mouth and say, I walked up in that house as a friend and then I left out with her husband. Okay? Yeah, I did that shit. And so what? What you gonna do? You feel me? So until you give us concrete whatever, we are always going to look at you sideways. We are never going to give you the benefit of the doubt when it comes to that. And I find it very strange that Cynthia is so adamant about supporting Porsha. And I don't know if it's like well, I knew her first kind of thing, But I just feel like, Sin, you should play it a little chill with this. I don't think you should give too much explanation. Girl, they relationship was all of 5 seconds. She likes to get into sprint relationships. So, you go in hard, you know what I'm saying? And then it just ends. That's it. That's the end of the race. Same thing with Simon. Quick start, quick finish. Like, it's not that in depth for you to have all this smoke. And we still haven't forgot about how you handled yourself on your own show in Mexico. Okay, when I tell you, you could never get me to agree to understanding Porsha when it comes to Dennis, when it comes to Drew, none of that, okay? I said I was gonna wait, because I still ain't finished, girl. I got a little bit more in the clip for her, okay? So hold on. So Cynthia and Angela wrap up their conversation, and then shortly, I was gonna say Porsha wakes up, but girl, do we care? Nobody cares. Anyway, Drew shows up to the house, right? And the room grew still. When I tell you, it's like they had a little powwow, Brit, Kelli, Porsha, Shamia, and was like, okay, girl, when Drew does show up, we're going to be, weird to her. Not weird, but just, we're going to be nice, but not really, girl. Like, don't give her too much. I mean, you could be nice to her, but, what you want me to do, girl? Like, do you want me to be mean to her? Do you want me to speak to her? And P's like, well, yeah, y'all can speak, but just don't give her too much. Don't make her feel too comfortable, okay? And that's exactly what I feel like happened. And it just, you guys are trying to get in these confessionals, trying to rewrite what we're seeing. And it just annoys me. Anyway, so Drew shows up. Everybody, looking all crazy, and Angela welcomes her because once again, these are the two Midwest sisters. Angela's the new girl. She's trying to navigate her way. Drew is new adjacent, but she had a relationship with Porsha. There's no Kenya anymore. So now that Porsha and her are kind of at odds, Angela is her only ally, right? The other two are followers. So it's just like, okay. So Angela welcomes her. She could feel the vibes, even though Porsha tries to act like, oh, hey, girl, what's going on? Give her this fake hug and everything. And I can see why Drew is trying to play it nice, because you feel like you're imposing on Porsha's birthday trip. Angela's getting her makeup done, and she tells Drew, girl, go in there and look at your room. Now, I thought that was a little shady, but I don't know if she just was trying to brace her before she saw what was happening, and then she tried to soften the blow, well, girl, we really not gonna be spending that much time sleeping, so it's just for sleep. So that's out the way. They all decide that they're gonna split the groups up into 2 groups. One is going whiskey tasting, the other is going to go to Coyote Ugly to make drinks or create bartending drinks or something like that. Oh, but girl, wait a minute. Hold up. Let me back it up. Girl, Porsha talking about Angela's gaslighting me. And I'm like, girl, let's look up the term gaslighting, shall we? All right, girl. You know what time it is, okay? Okay, so there's 2 definitions of gaslighting, right? There's the modern definition by Google that says, the modern definition of gaslighting is a psychological manipulation technique in which a person tries to convince someone that their reality is untrue. It's a tactic often used by narcissists to gain control of their intended target. Okay, that's the modern definition. The dictionary explains it as to manipulate someone using psychological methods into questioning their own sanity or powers of reasoning. Okay, so you mean to tell me that that is what Angela's trying to do? Or is that what you guys, you, Brit, are trying to convince us. Because for you to try to say that she's gaslighting you when you guys did jump her down to the table.
No. That is so rude. Oh, this is not a perfect opportunity.
Because once again, last week's episode, when Porsha was down to the lunch table, when they had that spread, Porsha did not have any smoke.
Wow. Who else could invite themselves?
It's fine. Whatever.
I'ma keep it cute. That kind of energy. But soon as everybody is in formation, now it's...
What kind of glue is on your motherfucking wig? You should have kept your mouth shut because we had a wonderful day.
And now you have a problem with Angie. And I just find it very strange that you're trying to make it seem like Angela is some type of big bad wolf and you're the sheep. Like, girl, get the... Okay, I said I was gonna give her her own time, all right? And maybe I'm not. Porsha is the villain, okay? Porsha has been the villain for years. She just has not stepped comfortably into that villain, because how she showed up when we first got our eyes on her, she was looked at and viewed as the dumb victim. She was the dizzy girl that was an airhead, and she kind of gave Hillary vibes, you know what I'm saying? Just what? You know, what are you talking about? And I think that translated into her owning that role. And so now she's cool with appearing like she's unaware, but she's very aware and she's very calculated. And I just don't understand how people don't see that. And then she also adopted I'm gonna whoop you type of vibes, which is really strange. She ain't never really squared up on nobody. She just does obnoxious stuff. And then y'all, the viewers, think she can fight. She can't. Girl, please. If anything, she gets other people to do her bidding for her, which is why everybody seems to be having their capes on for her this entire episode. Anyway, let me get back. So in the car, girl, before they get to this destination, right? Shamia has a moment where she gets emotional. And I'm going to tie in what conversation that I heard, or that we all heard her have with her husband on FaceTime. Let me start there. So she has a conversation with her husband on FaceTime, and her husband tried to include her in the doctor's visit for her baby girl. And she tells her account for what's going on with the daughter. And then she goes into this, my husband deserves a son. I'm not going to touch the whole he deserves because he's so hands-on. Girl, nobody deserves kids besides the mama, okay? Because the mamas are the ones who end up doing majority of the work. I don't care, okay? So she talks to her husband and everything about the baby, and she's, really emotional. And I get that. Like, you have a baby who you are miles away from at the moment, and they're not feeling well. And so you get emotional about that. Special needs or not, it is a mommy thing, right? So then we're in the car on the way to the different locations, and Shamia gets a text or phone call, I don't know. I think she gets a text from an old friend of her ex-husband's. I'm just going to say old friend because it didn't feel like a girlfriend or a wife or anything like that. So she validates your story that you told years ago about the abuse that you took from your previous husband, right? And she's all relieved and feeling emotional. And I get the emotional part of being triggered. But girl, when I tell you, I don't even understand why that girl still have your number or that she's not blocked. Baby, let me tell you something. All you got to tell me is that you don't believe me one time. You're blocked. Blocked. Okay? I'm not finna go back and forth with you trying to convince you about your friends. And I don't need your validation. I don't. Thank you, but I don't need it. Okay? So, and I just feel like that kind of caters into this odd dialogue with Shamia, how she wants the approval of others, how she wants to please others. And it just doesn't feel very healthy. Okay. So yeah, like, girl. And then Porsha, all the other girls are comforting her. And then Portia's like, oh, let me go on and get up and, oh, girl, what's wrong? What's wrong, friend? Like, oh, okay. So the group splits up into two groups, the mean girls and the rich aunties, okay? I'm just gonna say rich aunties because that's just what came to mind, all right? We have on one hand Kelli, Shamia, Porsha, and they went to Coyote Ugly. So then on the other side, we have ooh. Okay, Cynthia, Drew, and oh my God, girl, I done told y'all about these glasses. Now you supposed to let me know when I'm doing glasses. Anyway, Angela, Cynthia, Drew, and Brit. The Brit part of the classy aunties is silent, okay? So, no. Okay, no. But then the mean girls was missing a vowel, which is Brit, okay? Because, all right. So anyway, Porsha and them, they taking shots and everything, trying to outdo each other. It was very, you could tell they were trying to, add a little fluff to the episode. Because when I tell you this episode didn't give nothing, it didn't give a thing, okay? So then, at the whiskey tasting, right? They all sit down to hash out, I'm going to say their differences, but it was like Angela was trying to figure out what the deal was, like why she was considered victimina. Brit tells her, well, you don't take accountability, or is it that you play the victim? I don't know, girl. Whatever it was.
What you said was some bullshit.
I just don't think that Brit is self-aware enough to understand that that's exactly what she does. Brit trying to explain, she made the whole conversation about her. When I tell you, Brit is a what about me ass, I cannot understand why every time she's in a situation, whether it's with Kenya, whether it's with this situation, what about me? What about me? How can I make this about me? She makes it about her. Once again, Captain Cynthia, because girl, this episode, now I was giving you a lot of, praises about being the auntie of the group. But baby, when I tell you, you need to sit this out, girl, go have a seat. Because Cynthia coming in talking about, well, you don't get to tell somebody how they feel because that's their feelings. And if you got it, you're going based off of what happened down to Kenya's, hair spa. But what you did not know was how she responded when all Ange asked was, what was the cause? That's all she wanted to know. What was the cause? And the way you approached and talked to her, the way you tried to come at her like she was dumb, I was just so I was hoping that Ange would have gave her some pushback. But of course, Brit was crying, so you don't want to seem like the asshole. So you gotta, if I'm sorry. She was trying to be the bigger person about it. Well, girl, you felt some type of way. I didn't mean to make you feel some type of way. My bad. All right. And Drew was like, well, girl, we were showing up for you, but you kind of, and like I said, Cynthia was doing too much, but we're going to move on from that. All right. Porsha and them were down to the whiskey joint, talking they stuff too. And they're like, well, I just feel like Ange. And I'm like, what is your heart on for Ange now? All of a sudden, you want to turn you done got a little bit of life out of your girlfriends when y'all jumped her down to the table. So now all your focus is on Ange. Now you're mad at Ange. And I just find that so strange. Girl, when I tell you Porsha is lacking character, we are not getting anything but a mean girl out of Porsha. And it just, Like, girl, I mean, it fits her. So Porsha was down to her confessionals, girl, lying, just lying, girl. Once again, I was trying to be nice to Drew, but Drew was being, everybody was being negative. And I don't know why everybody was being negative. And you, Angela. And I was just like, girl, if you don't shut the up talking about Angela, girl. Like, girl, anyway. Yeah, I didn't feel that. I wasn't feeling that whatsoever at all. Okay? So, yeah, Porsha was in her confessionals just lying, trying to rewrite history, trying to make it fit, trying to convince us that we don't, gaslight us, okay? That we don't see what we're seeing. And it just, girl, when I tell you I don't see it for Porsha. Now, she a bad and when I say bad I mean she's pretty. She got a fat ass, and she can dress at times. And then that's it. Oh, and her hair is cute most of the time. But that's it. That's it. I ain't got nothing else for her. I ain't got it. Okay. So then, girl, everybody gets home. Everybody gets back to the house and settles down, and then they get prepared for dinner, right? And so Porsha takes a call. She's talking to Dennis and PJ, right? And then everybody starts coming downstairs because they're getting ready to have dinner, right? So everybody looks good. Everybody looks so cute when they come down for dinner, and then little dinner looks. And then Brit says, I should get my whip. And it's like, girl, you telling on yourself again? Did you not learn your lesson the first time? On this journey to 1,000 subscribers, I just want to say this episode is sponsored by you. Thank you so much for your support and helping me along this journey. Your support keeps me encouraged. It keeps me going. It keeps me wanting to make more content. Hopefully you like what you see. So if you like what you see, girl, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, girl. I won't bite, okay? All right, now let's get back to the show. Back to you, Phil. We were on Porsha's ass, okay? Because Porsha, girl, you come downstairs looking basic as fuck, like a spoiled brat. I'm mad, so I want to act like this, and I'm not going to say anything, and I don't have the verbal fortitude to say anything, so I'm just going to do like this. And I'm going to let y'all say, what's wrong, Porsha? What's wrong? And I'm just going to still pout and act like a little baby. Girl, I've done it, okay? I have done what Porsha is doing in my 20s. I'm upset. I don't want to say nothing. And because I'm in my feelings, I want you guys to feel it. And I want you guys to kiss my ass a little bit. And I want you guys to say what's wrong. All right? That's what we did at 18, 17, 16. You know, when we're young and we don't know how to contextualize our feelings. Miss me with the BS. You are pouting and acting like a spoiled brat, and I just find it very unfitting for a 42-year-old to behave that way. So everybody's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Porsha, I'm just tired. Girl, cut it out. We get downstairs. They do the little line dancing. Girl, at this point, I'm putting it all together in my mind. Like, girl, you guys are so mean in these confessionals. Because the way they are jumping, and the way they are jumping, shit, they got on Kelly's ass a little bit too. The way they talked about Drew, it's just like, y'all are so mean. They get down to the dinner table, and they all are going over, we had a really good time. And then somehow the conversation goes over to Angela. Oh, well, they want to know how each other had, or the time that each other had at the different locations. So they talk about what they went over at the whiskey tasting. And Angela was like, well, I was told that I was playing victim or whatever. and she was trying to get some insight. And of course, Brit, well, yeah, cause yeah. And I'm, girl, shut up, okay? We would have been completely okay if Brit never said a thing, because all she said this entire episode was right. Yeah. I mean, and then she gave a little bit trying to make the situation about her during that one scene, but that's it. So Angela turns the attention over to Porsha because Porsha was the one that said Victimina, right? Yet everybody else is talking for Porsha. From Kelli, Brit, Shamia, everyone's talking. And I don't like how they once again tried to dogpile Angela, because they were like, it was like Angela was on an island all by herself. Hell, even Drew was kind of like, I don't know how to play this hand because I was not invited. And they were like, well, did anybody call you, Drew? And I'm like, do you see how mean you sound? Like, girl, y'all are at work. I don't understand how you don't understand that this is a work trip. This is brought to you by the Bravo NBC Universal Network. Okay? Like, cut it out. I don't like how y'all are trying to act like this is like Porsha just paid for everybody, and then Drew just took it upon herself to come in and break up the party. And they were trying to be nice the whole time. It's y'all that had the problem. Shamia, Porsha, Kelli, and Brit looking stupid like, well, which way do I turn? Oh, Portia's the big dog out the house, so let me govern myself accordingly. Girl. Angela's like, well, I want to know from you, Porsha. And so Portia's like, and I'm just like, Porsha, to be honest, you didn't have to come back this season. You didn't. I will be okay. I mean, I don't know what's to happen in the future, but so far, Porsha, I don't care about this tired storyline. You are so unlikable so far. And then when it was time to work, you didn't want to work. Angela, she stood 10 toes down. I was not about to let y'all talk about Drew when she wasn't around, and you guys pretty much jumped her. And everybody's like, well, no, we didn't jump her. This is that and the third. And it's like, no, yes, you did. And then they tried to make it seem like, oh, well, we weren't even talking about it. You brought her up. No, Porsha did. Okay? And then Porsha tells Ange, I want you to kiss my ass. And Angela was like, girl, the world can kiss your ass. And I was like, get her, girl. And then then she was like, well, since everybody's holding everybody's accountable, Kelli started this. What's the juice, girl?
I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze.
Porsha literally let everybody fight her battle for her. Everybody was, no, Porsha didn't. I didn't say anything. No, Porsha, blah, blah, blah. Like, literally the whole cast just whipped out their capes, and here it is. I'm about to defend my pee, okay?
I gotta fight every night to prove my love.
For some reason, everybody's under the impression that Porsha is just this delicate flower. I do not see it for any of these ladies. Like, girl, it is sickening how much they are being Porsha pick-me's, okay? Okay, so then they have their little words. Drew is like, well, like I said, she tried to give her this. Did I say it? She tried to extend the olive branch. I bought you a bottle of whiskey. I don't know. And once again, Porsha, not giving her anything. She was like, well, girl, do you even want me here? And she was like, you straight. And so Drew was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and head out. So she leaves. And then this weird thing happens. And the ladies are like, well, no, don't leave.
Because I don't have to deal with this. Drew, please don't leave.
Don't leave. Didn't y'all act weird, isolate me, make me feel like I wasn't welcome this entire time, look at me crazy and cross-eyed as soon as I walk through the threshold, and now don't leave? Girl, shut the up, Shamia. Cause you the main one that has all this mouth about what doesn't make you feel comfortable and you just didn't like it, that. Like, girl, I am trying to like Shamia, but I'm liking her a lot less this episode. She's, and I wanted to say about her last week that every time when she was down to the dinner table, she was like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like when people switch up. Girl, shut up. Shut up. First of all, you already have a problem with Angela some weeks ago, and that wasn't even real. Your only problem is that Angela sees the situation for what it is, because Angela is not letting y'all skate away in y'all delusion. She is very logical. She is not about to let y'all play in her face the way y'all be trying to play in her face. Shamia, you could be in delusional la la land all you want to, but everybody else don't have to participate in that, okay? Everyone else can see the forest through the trees but you. If you want to sit in complete blind, bliss, that's your business, okay? But you don't have to make everybody participate based off of the fact that they don't see it for Porsha the way you see it for Porsha. And the only reason why you see it for Porsha is because you have this sick, twisted way of thinking. You want to people please so bad that you will abandon your own self in the service of someone else. I'm just like, Shamia, baby, you are too old for this. Like, you are too grown, too accomplished, too beautiful, too charismatic to literally play this like you just want to make everybody else happy. That is not something that is a quality of yours. Make people feel good when you're around them, light up a room whenever you walk in, but that is it. You don't have to fight everybody's battles, especially Porsha. And I don't know how y'all relationship is faring. I don't care. Matter of fact, I hope it ends, honestly. So she says don't leave. Drew goes on ahead, heads upstairs. And then Angela and Porsha have words. And once again, from last week's episode on till today, Porsha, you have met your match. I know that you like to think you're crazy, but you're not. You're not. You might grab some stuff because you know somebody's going to pull it back from you, or that you know that it's not going to land. So you try to jump bad, but you're not bad, okay? You're not. You're not. I could see Porsha helping jump somebody in a fight, but I can't see Porsha squaring up with a woman head on. I just can't. She's not. She's going to pick on the pretty girl, Kenya, who is going to, go back and forth with you because Kenya is a wordsmith and she's going to give it to you head on verbally, but she's not going to do too much boxing with you. Okay, so you're going to attack her because you know you can. You'll go after somebody calm and docile like Cynthia because you feel like you can.
With me, bitch. Hey, put your hand in my face, bitch.
And Cynthia surprised you when she kicked your ass.
And she kicked me in my stomach.
I think that you would even go as far as trying to put your hands and feet on Drew, because Drew is a, peaceful person. You know what I'm saying? So you know who you can go up against, but you would never do that with Nene. You would never do that with Candy, even though you about 2 feet taller than her. She'll put you down to size 2. And you for sure don't know if you can try your hand with Angela, but it don't quite give that you can. So what do? You run away from it because you ain't got this. You're not quick with it enough to give this. All right. So your first line of defense is, oh, let me try to punk you and act like I'm gonna beat your ass, but you're not. All right. Angela just ain't the one or the two. All right. So they all break up from the table because Porsha walks away and, Porsha goes off into her bedroom, and then Drew, of course, she's upset, and she's like, listen, I don't have to take this. And that's what it annoys me the most, is because Drew is going through a real situation with her husband. She's living in a house with that man. That man is not leaving the basement. He's trying at every turn to keep his hand on her, or his thumb on her, okay? She's going through, like, they've been together for years. Porsha, you picked every hell that you have occupied. You chose to be with Simon. You thought you were going to get a different version of Simon and didn't. You got the same Simon. And then you are mad that everything is falling apart, even though you the one that filed this divorce. Like, cut it out. And you don't have control over Dennis. Because for you to sit there and be like, well, I heard through the grapevine that Dennis had recorded with Drew and that's what you're trying to tell Cynthia, because Cynthia done went over and tried to, once again play peacemaker. And I sort of understand Cynthia's perspective. And between Drew and Porsha, I feel like she's a little closer to Porsha, because her and Porsha have known each other longer. But it's still like, girl, you are not calling Porsha out on her BS, because Cynthia just ain't the one to do it, honestly. And if Kenya was there, I don't even think she would do it, because she doesn't want to be the villain, especially when it comes to Porsha, because everybody feel like Kenya don't like Porsha. But anyway, let me go back. So they talk, and she's like, you chose opportunity over family. First of all, Porsha, I am not sorry to break this down to you, but Dennis is not your family. He's Pilar's family, okay? Dennis doesn't owe you shit. I don't care if he told you he won't record. He don't owe you nothing. Girl, once again, do you think we forgot about Mexico? Did I mention Mexico? If I didn't, girl, we ain't forgot about Mexico. And how you went off and tried to put hands and feet on his mama, all right? And it's just like, girl, Dennis, the Lady Menace, don't owe you a goddamn thing, okay? Like, you do not own, and that's another thing. Like, when Porsha feels like she's not in control of the narrative, she can't control the storyline, either she will try to rewrite it, or she try to act like it never happened. And let's get to, since we talking about like it never happened, let's get down to the pool, okay? So they decide, you know what? I want to get, loosey-goosey. I want to drink and da-da-da. So the mean girls are down to the poolside, drinking it up. And mind you, it makes sense. The mean girls include Porsha, Shamia, or we gonna call her Shamina until she proves us otherwise, okay? Porsha, Shamina, Brit, and Kelli are down to the pool. And Kelli, I hate to be on your ass so much this episode, even though you really didn't give a whole lot. You are everybody's friend, so it feels like you're no one's friend right now. That's all I'm saying about her. But so they down to the pool. The classy women is down to the house, girl, trying to get their beauty rest until Angela hears her name outside, right? So Angela decides that she's going to, she said she was on the phone with her husband when they were outside, and then she hears her name. So it's like, hold on, husband, let me call you back. So she goes to the window, and I think I would have done the same thing. I know that women are going to say, I didn't say that. So yeah, I'm pulling out that phone and I'm going to record the footage. And I think that she just was like, you know what? Forget it. I ain't finna do this. I'm about to deal with it head on right now. She goes downstairs and says, I heard you was looking for me. Here I go.
Y'all keep calling me. Let me go see what the y'all want.
Shit. What's up? And once again, Porsha, Angela's always gonna be on your ass, all right? So don't try that BS, because what she came down there for wasn't just because she heard her name. Porsha says,
I should Charles.
I
I didn't say anything.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
So, you did snatch Simon while he was still married to Fallon. You did have a pre-existing relationship with Simon during the filming of that show.
Do I need to bring the receipt?
Simon, everyone.
How are you? You're good? Boom, boom. Yeah.
That makes me want to get married all over again.
I mean, it's gorgeous.
We may just have to renew our vows, ring upgrade.
You know,
Love it.
you know.
Love it.
But y'all come with receipts and motherfucking invoices.
I love this marriage.
If I can't yell at you and tell you what I need you to be doing, I don't want you.
I don't even think she meant to do that. Because as soon as she came downstairs to confront her about what she said, I didn't say anything. I don't know what you're talking about. She got her towel and wrapped up and went upstairs. Now, in the confessional, she's Big Billy Badass.
Who you gonna show it to? Who you gonna tell?
And I'm like, Porsha, you have all this smoke in your confessionals, but you ain't giving none of that energy.
She got the hell up out of there.
I'm not on camera.
Because you knew not to ever try to go head up with Angela. Because she not only going to verbally go, she could probably knock your head between the washer and dryer. You understand what I'm saying? Like, girl. So Porsha wraps up and skedaddles up out of there, right? And Kelli did come out and say,
Porsha saying she better stop before I her husband.
so all of you Porsha pick-me's can go sit your ass down somewhere, because Porsha was indeed effing with Simon while he was still married to Fallon. Okay? And which was good that Fallon went and got broke off by that little pool guy. I don't know who he was. You know, while all of this was happening now, the only thing that, you know, like I said, Fallon messed up when she got pregnant. I ain't saying babies are the blessing and everything, but I'm talking about, you know, she messed up, okay? So then the next morning comes, Angela's like, girl, f*** all you bitches. I'm done with all y'all. Like, y'all ain't gotta see it for me. Real quick. Brit, your ass cheeks gave more to this episode than you did. Cause why? Now, I will say that you look decent in clothes. You look decent. I was just like, ooh. Angela gets ready to leave the next morning. She is not feeling any of them. She ain't seeing it for none of them. Kelli comes down and like I said, Kelli, I don't dislike you this episode. I just feel like you were around the mean girls, so you're a mean girl by proximity. You know what I'm saying? To me, if Kelli's not your friend, she's going to let people just talk about you. She doesn't stand on business when it comes to people who are not her friend. So like how she wasn't feeling it for Kenya and the way she was going off about Brit, she felt like that was her friend, so therefore she stood up for her.
I'm not doing this. Bitch, we getting the out of here, ho. Not gonna allow her to disrespect my friend.
But she doesn't have any loyalty to Angela, even though they didn't have any words or anything, but she just don't care, right? So she's laughing and kikiing down by the pool, even though she did say what it was, but she's not going to step in and take up for Angela. She's all, good morning. And Angela was like, good morning, but girl, give me 5 feet, okay? Because I ain't really feeling you right now. And I ain't trying to be fake. And that's fair. Angela says, girl, I came here grown. I'm leaving here grown. You know, the Porsha pets, I don't like none of y'all at this point, right? I feel her, okay? So yeah, the episode wrapped up, girl. The previews for next week's episode, I guess they're supposed to have some barbecue down to Cynthia's house, and some medium or person is supposed to come and help the girls. I don't know, girl, whatever. Porsha is a mean girl. Porsha and the Porsha pick-me's and the Porsha peaches in the, what I say? The Porsha pets. The Porsha pets. Yeah, the Porsha pets. Girl, all of that. Girl, y'all can have it. You can have it, girl. I don't like it. All right? So yeah, girl. Yeah, I'm done with this review, and you guys let me know what you feel about the situation. I had a lot of smoke, but the episode itself, when you watch it, it really wasn't a whole lot, but you know, girl, I did my best. Okay, so I'm going to call you guys back later. Go ahead and like and subscribe, hit the notification bell if you are really about that life, and run it on down to the comments, girl. Talk to me, girl, because I know it's a few of you pick-me's in there, girl. All right? Now, be nice, because I'm nice. I'm nice to you, all right? I ain't got to be so nice about how I feel about Porsha, all right? Okay, so I'm going to call you guys back. Bye.